if you're going to be a mystic, you have to approach mysticism scientifically. You will have a look at something, you will create an effect, you will get a certain outcome. You will then do it a second time. If you get the same outcome the second time, you've got something worth looking at. If you do it a third time and you still get the same outcome, now we have something close to a very good theory that could possibly be a fact. So then you keep looking into it. The reason I was doing this is because the mindset is to be the mover, the moved, and the moving. That's the mindset, but that still doesn't say how that's working. How is that working? My knowledge of quantum physics, double split, experiment, and quantum entanglement kind of does give some answers to that. And as you well know, there are physicists all over the world that are starting to look into these things, the oneness of mind and all the rest of it. And they're coming out with proof. They are demonstrating that these things are actually real. So they're catching up. I'm going to get into trouble for saying this, but scientists are catching up. Can I just sidetrack onto what I mean by that, if you don't mind? As a mystic, all right, I'm going to use a very, very simple science, psychology. Simple science, everyone can learn psychology very quickly. Just close your eyes and you've started. So with psychology, if you were to go to psychologists and you're super depressed and all of the rest of it, through book learning and being told by professors and all the rest of it, the psychologist can go, well, you've got a lot of negative thoughts and this is causing you to be depressed, and there's many things we can do about that. You know, you may be able to go and take some medication, but I would have to send you to a psychiatrist for that. But there are things we can do with it by adding or taking away or neutralizing certain chemicals within your body. That still hasn't told the person who's depressed why it's happening. You just explained his situation in terms that sounds clever. A mystic, on the other hand, will go in and use the technology of inner sight. You go in, still your mind, become very still, still your heart until you're feeling very, very even and very calm. And then you have a negative thought on purpose. You bring up a negative thought. Upon that thought arriving or manifesting, you'll see your stomach will tense. You'll notice that your body starts to produce adrenaline. Your heartbeat starts to go up. You're watching the process. The adrenaline starts to build up inside you. Your heart beats faster. Your muscles start to tense. You start to shake. Now you're in a bad situation. You are now what they would call stressed, and you have symptoms of stress. But by going in and watching this, you are seeing it. You are watching it happen from beginning to end, and you're seeing why it happens. You're also, if you're clever enough, and if you have the capacity, you will notice that whatever you are in there watching that process isn't actually depressed. You are watching the function of depression right there before you. But in that watching, you've separated yourself from it. These are things you won't get from your psychologist, of course. So the only difference between scientists and mystics is that a mystic, and as a scientist, we both understand that all of the elements that make up life, all of the elements that life bases itself on, are here inside this body. Everything that we call life, everything that we call being alive, is right here inside your body. And the technology is in there. The fact you can close your eyes and see things inside your head means you have an internal eye. You have internal technology. That's no different to having security cameras inside your building. So now you can see in there. Once you're going in there, you can watch chemicals being produced. You can watch thoughts being produced. You can control your heart rate. You can control your body temperature. You know, these are all scientific facts. You know this. It's all been demonstrated and recorded for decades all over the world. This can happen. The only difference between the mystic at that point and a scientist is a scientist can also look in there, but the scientist relies on external technology. A scientist will rely on machinery, microscopes, electron microscopes, things that I probably can't even pronounce as far as technology goes today, but you get the general gist. So scientists and mystics are looking in the same direction. We're all doing the same thing, but mystics have been doing it for so long. We actually started way, way before the external technology had arrived. So we have mastered the internal technology. That's the only difference. Scientists will have to pull up with their technology. They will have to go internally eventually. But you will find at the end of the day, it's not about science and it's not about pure mysticism. It's the middle line between yin and yang. Science and mysticism have to come together and realize that we're not separate and never have been, have the same attitude, have the same direction, have the same objectives and the same passion, which is to uncover truth. That's that.